It's time for Japanese learning. Once again, Shiny is using an AI voice.
Hello. In this video, we'll feature the breathtaking scenery of Iyashinosato, a charming village located near Mount Fuji. We'll also provide a brief introduction to other spots around Mount Fuji, so make sure to watch until the end. During this vibrant autumn season, the colorful foliage and serene countryside will surely soothe your soul. On this channel, we explore Japan's stunning landscapes while learning practical Japanese phrases for your travels. Let's also uncover hidden gems that only locals know, places not found in typical travel guides, while enjoying the journey of learning Japanese together. We've arrived at the surroundings of the main spot of this video, Iyashinosato. From the parking lot, it's about a 100-meter walk to the entrance. Let's have fun learning Japanese here together. Iyashinosato is a recreated village that once existed near Lake Motosu. After suffering severe damage during the typhoon disaster of 1966, the village lost its original form. However, traditional thatched roof houses were carefully restored, and in 2006, the area was reborn as a cultural and tourist site. Here, you can experience the traditional way of life in Japan while exploring local crafts and culture. Especially during the autumn season, the vibrant colors of the foliage create a stunning landscape that captivates visitors. So, let's enjoy learning together while immersing ourselves in Japan's history and culture. In the previous video, it seems I unintentionally used some no-go words. This time, I'll make sure to avoid such words while still pushing the boundaries just enough. Boo. If you understand this joke, it means you've already checked out my previous video. So, I hereby appoint you as the very first member of my channel's fan club. Though, for now, you're the only member. Alright, let's shout together. Ana-tawa. Boo.
Ta no oyoni.
美しいですね。
Now, we've arrived at the entrance. Asking, "Where is the entrance?" is one of the most common phrases you might use while traveling.
入り口はどこですか？入り口はどこですか？
There is always a reception desk near the entrance, isn't there? In rural facilities with fewer foreign tourists, the signs are often written entirely in Japanese kanji. Did you notice anything interesting in this footage? You've figured it out by now, haven't you? When you visit Japan, you'll definitely see this kanji in many places.
受付。受付。受付はどこですか？受付はどこですか？
Let me also introduce a must-know phrase for traveling in Japan. For example, when visiting a museum or entering an amusement park, you'll always need to buy a ticket. In such cases, you can say it like this.
大人のチケットを2枚お願いします。大人のチケットを2枚お願いします。
Feel free to ask questions in the comments section. This house has been turned into a cafe, where you can relax and enjoy the view of Mount Fuji at your leisure. In Japan, cafes are formally called kisaten, but recently, they are often referred to simply as cafes in English, which is widely understood. For example, if you want to ask at an information desk, "Is there a good cafe nearby?" you can ask like this.
この近くで美味しいカフェはありますか？この近くで美味しいカフェはありますか？この近くで美味しい寿司屋はありますか？この近くで美味しい寿司屋はありますか？
Enjoying a quiet cafe like this, sipping coffee with your loved one while gazing at Mount Fuji, might just be one of the most blissful ways to spend your time. Mount Fuji is a famous mountain, and many people climb it to reach the summit. As someone who used to enjoy hiking, I see Mount Fuji as a mountain to admire from below rather than to climb. This is because the view from the top is mostly distant, and I personally find the scenery from lower mountains more beautiful. Let's head up. This site is at the mountain's foot, built on a slope. From the top, enjoy stunning views of the village below. There is a Japanese garden here, which is called Nihon Teien in Japanese. This is a small garden, and small garden is called Chisai Niwa. Now, let's explain this in a bit more detail.
小さい。小さい。 大きい、大きい。日本庭園、日本庭園。
Using the words we just learned, we can say that this garden is a Chiisai Nihonteien in Japanese. He is walking. In English, the progressive form is created using am, is, are, and the ain form of a verb, while in Japanese, it is formed by adding teiru to the verb.
彼は歩いている。彼は歩いている。
Let's review with a few different phrases based on what we just learned.
彼は立っている。彼は立っている。
This form will definitely come in handy, so be sure to remember it. Now, let me show you the view I saw while walking earlier. As mentioned earlier, on September 25, 1966, heavy rain caused by Typhoon number 26 triggered a massive mudslide, resulting in devastating damage to the Nenba settlement. Out of the 41 thatched roof houses, 37 were completely or partially destroyed, and 94 precious lives were lost in this tragedy. We hope that visitors to this site can feel that a village once stood here, where people lived their daily lives. Additionally, we encourage you to visit the village shrine to pay your respects to those who lost their lives in this disaster. This is a traditional thatched roof house, made from natural materials like rice straw or pampas grass. Once common across Japan, these houses are now rare and can only be seen in places like this. In Nenba, the roofs have been carefully restored as cultural assets to preserve the past lifestyle. Let's continue walking uphill again. While listening to the music, I'll introduce the entire area. All the music used in this video is by MC Ruru. Please search for MC_Ruru to find it. There are 2 shrines here, but the guidebook only mentions one. This shrine isn't even on the map, so its details are unclear. However, since you're already here, why not take the opportunity to visit this shrine as well? Here, you can enjoy more than just the scenery. There are various activities to try. You can experience pottery and painting workshops, as well as making kaleidoscopes or metal engraving. For international visitors, renting traditional Japanese attire such as kimono, armor, or ninja costumes is highly recommended. Taking a memorable photo in traditional clothing with this stunning backdrop will surely create an unforgettable experience. This shrine is listed on the tourist map. Next time, I will explain the proper etiquette for visiting a shrine. This is the shrine that protects the village. After the great disaster that once struck this area, it became a sacred place where people prayed for peace and recovery. Take a moment to offer your thoughts here. This place is called Gorwon Khan. Here, you can take off your shoes, lie down on tatami mats, and relax while enjoying local specialties and snacks. The view of Mount Fuji from this spot feels quintessentially Japanese, making it a personal recommendation for those who want to take their time admiring the mountain. This is the former Watanabe residence, a thatched roof house that miraculously survived the devastating mudslides of Typhoon number 26 in 1966. Now a registered tangible cultural property, it offers a glimpse into past lifestyles and architectural techniques, connecting visitors to the region's history. Let me introduce an aspect of Japanese culture. When entering someone's home, there's a phrase you must say. This phrase, ojamashimasu, serves as both a greeting and a form of etiquette. In Japan, it is considered polite to always say ojamashimasu when entering someone's house. Be sure to remember and use it.
お邪魔します。お邪魔します。
When leaving someone's home, Japanese people always say, ojamashimashita. This phrase expresses gratitude and apologies for intruding on their time and space, making it a polite way to say goodbye.
お邪魔しました。お邪魔しました。
In the previous video, I briefly mentioned that Japanese culture values complimenting others. For example, when invited to a friend's home, it's common to say things like, "What a beautiful house," or "What a lovely sofa." Finding something nice to compliment can make the host feel good and help the conversation flow more smoothly. In this video, I'll introduce some useful phrases for such situation.
綺麗な家ですね。綺麗な家ですね。素敵なソファーですね。素敵なソファーですね。
In Japanese, sugoi is a versatile word often used when you're surprised, impressed, or giving a compliment. Its meaning can vary slightly depending on the context, but it generally conveys a sense of amazing, wonderful, or incredible. For example, you can say, sugoi, when you see a beautiful view or are impressed by someone's talent. It's a common word in everyday conversation, so be sure to remember it and try using it. Here, you can rent kimono, samurai armor, and ninja costumes for 2,000 yen per person with a reservation. Stroll around the village in your outfit and take photos with Mount Fuji in the background. Let me teach you some essential phrases for visiting a rental shop or clothing store.
試着できますか？試着できますか？
If the clothes you try on are too small or too large, I'll also teach you how to ask for a different size.
これのもっと大きいサイズはありますか？これのもっと大きいサイズはありますか？これのもっと小さいサイズはありますか？これのもっと小さいサイズはありますか？
There are still a few more spots I'd like to introduce, but let's move on to the next location. By the way, I also offer guided tours, so feel free to contact me if you'd like one. But before that, I'm a bit tired from walking, so I'll take a short break here. Here, I ordered soba noodles with wild vegetables and some tea, and took a short break. I'm a bit of a health enthusiast, so I usually stick to healthy meals at home. Even when dining out, I tend to order dishes with more vegetables. However, only when I'm out, I treat myself to ice cream or sweets. After all, it's nice to have a little indulgence once in a while. Spending time in quiet, uncrowded places like this is my hobby. That's why I know many beautiful and worthwhile spots that are off the beaten path. Please subscribe to my channel. Curious about what that is? Here's a Japanese phrase you can use in such situations.
あれは何ですか？あれは何ですか？これは何ですか？これは何ですか？
This is Oishi Park, a popular spot visited by many tourists. However, choosing the wrong time to visit might result in fewer attractions to enjoy. While you can look up information online, as a local, I'd like to share the best times to visit. From late June to early July, you can enjoy a stunning view of lavender fields along with around 90 types of blooming flowers. From mid to late October, over 2,000 bushes of kachia turn bright red, creating a breathtaking contrast with Mount Fuji. Now, moving on to a new location, this is Fuji Motosuko Resort. While I'm not a fan of crowds, this is one of the places worth visiting even if it gets busy. Every year, the Fuji Shibasakura Festival is held here, featuring about 500,000 moss phlox in full bloom. The event showcases 7 varieties, including the vibrant pink McDaniel cushion, the white Mont Blanc, and the rose-pink autumn rose, creating a colorful and breathtaking landscape. The festival is held annually from mid-April to late May. While editing this video, I completely forgot that this is a channel for teaching Japanese. So now, let's get back to learning some useful Japanese phrases. At picturesque spots like this, you might want to ask someone to take a photo for you. Here's how you can politely make that request.
写真を撮ってもらえますか？写真を撮ってもらえますか？
If someone takes just one photo and stops, but you'd like more, you can say something like this to ask for additional pictures.
もう一枚取ってもらえますか？もう一枚取ってもらえますか？
There are many ways to express a single phrase, but I've carefully selected the easiest and most practical ones. Be sure to remember them. While admiring the moss flocks, I noticed a restaurant just behind me. It was crowded, and the wait time was long, so I didn't enter, but it looked like a great place. At tourist spots in Japan, popular restaurants always have lines, right? Here are some must-know phrases that will come in handy in such situations.
待ち時間はどれくらいですか？待ち時間はどれくらいですか？予約はできますか？予約はできますか？
These street stalls selling food are called yatai in Japanese. At yatai, you'll often find local foods, and trying a little bit from various stalls can be a fun experience. We've now moved to Kawaguchiko, but this is the less touristy side of the lake, opposite to what you'd typically find in a guidebook. Around Mount Fuji, there are plenty of rental bicycles available, and exploring with a bike and Google Maps in hand can be a great adventure. This quieter side of Kawaguchiko is often used by locals as a place to relax, and at this park or the roadside station right in front, you can find fresh local vegetables and fruits. These days, Google Maps makes navigation easy, so you might not need this phrase, but it's a versatile one worth remembering.
近くにレンタサイクルはありますか？近くにレンタサイクルはありますか？近くに警察署はありますか？近くに警察署はありますか？
This is crucial information for when you lose something, so please make sure to remember it. Now, we're moving to another location. This is Lake Saiko. Around Mount Fuji, there are 5 famous lakes, with Lake Kawaguchi and Lake Yamanaka being the most well-known. However, some of you might be curious about the other lakes. To give you a quick overview, Lake Saiko is quiet, with almost no tourists and very few shops. It's mainly known as a fishing spot for locals. If I were visiting Japan as a tourist, I might not go out of my way to come here. Earlier, I gave a brief overview of less touristy areas around Mount Fuji. Now, let me introduce a region that is definitely worth visiting. Yamanashi Prefecture is famous for its grapes, and most of its vineyards are located here in Katsunuma. Naturally, there are also many wineries in this area. You can enjoy wine tasting here and purchase your favorite wine. If you have a wine lover in your family or among your friends, this makes for an excellent souvenir. At the underground wine cellar of Katsunuma Budo no Oka, you can taste approximately 200 varieties of wine produced in Yamanashi Prefecture. To participate in wine tasting, you need to purchase a special tasting cup called a tartevan for 2,200 yen. With this tartevan, you can freely taste wines within the cellar throughout the day. The tartevan is also a popular souvenir as it can be taken home. This facility was also visited by Their Majesties the Emperor and Empress during their time as Crown Prince and Crown Princess. While it's not widely known among international tourists, it's a popular spot among locals. Here, I'll teach you some phrases that I often use when visiting a restaurant for the first time. These are phrases I use every time I go to a restaurant, so they might be helpful to remember.
おすすめの料理はありますか？おすすめの料理はありますか？
You can replace ryori with other specific words, such as desserts, drinks, coffee, or wine, to ask for recommendations in different contexts.
おすすめのデザートはありますか？おすすめのお酒はありますか？おすすめのワインはありますか？
I happened to come across this station, and its peculiar name caught my attention, so I decided to stop by. This station is called Hidakajima. Hidaka means naked in English, and Jima means island. So, does that make this a naked island? If you want to visit this station, you can ask a local Japanese person like this. First, type, "I want to go to the naked island," into Google Translate to help with communication. Then, with a polite Japanese smile and maintaining eye contact to avoid seeming disrespectful, make sure to show your sincerity. To emphasize your urgency, pretend to be out of breath. It will convey your seriousness. Finally, while smiling again, press the speaker button on Google Translate to play the phrase, "I want to go to the naked island." Did you all enjoy today's video? Please have fun learning Japanese with my videos as you travel around Japan. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a like. By the way, I recommend taking a journey on these rural Japanese trains. If you happen to get lost deep in the mountains, leave a comment, and I'll come to rescue you. A week after I noticed the comment. Regarding asking for directions to the station, there's a chance that your voice might not be heard. In such cases, shout loudly. And for added effect, try shouting while drooling and laughing. It might work even better.
Thank you for watching the video till the end.
バイバイ。